welcome back to another episode of the You Only Live Once Life and Business Innovation Style Meditations, where I and Han bring you yummy conversations so that you can be yummy in your body wherever you are. Today I'm in Boston, first day here, and you're just hanging out here to bring to you 10 secrets to stop yourself from self-sabotaging and self-destructive behaviors. So a lot of times we are actually super good whenever life is amazing. When it's sunny, it's bright, and we want everything that is good to be in our lives, we're so good and we can be so amazing. However, when crap hits the fan and when things don't go your way and when things are unconfident or something shakes your confidence of what is actually happening, then things get a little funky. So today in this video, we're going to talk about 10 different steps on how you can stop these self-destructive behaviors. And not only that, but actually recognizing that there are self-destructive behaviors that will send you down in this rabbit hole of dissatisfaction, of craziness, of just inability to function properly, as well as hurting a lot of the circumstances rather than helping it, is really paramount to becoming a really stabilized, yummy person. So in this video, I will share with you 10 different steps. And so without further ado, let's jump in. Step number 1 is yummily define and name that self-destructive behavior. We all have this behavior, right? Some people binge eat whenever they feel stressed. Some people go out on binge drinking whenever they feel the stress. Some people binge emotional spewing on other people, creating even more cycles of destructive behaviors. Some people bottle it in and start crying and become very depressed when stuff like this happens. Some people lash out. Some people hurt themselves. Some people hurt themselves emotionally, digging themselves into a deeper and more painful hole. And then some people get really obsessive and make themselves feel even more insecure and unconfident. So the way to do that is actually naming it, catching yourself in this behavior and knowing what that actually is. And so one of the ways you can do this really easily and really helpfully is to name it as a cartoon character. So I have one person who names his as Woody Woodstock, or like I have another client who named hers or his as, what was it? A black ball of emotions. Whatever that is for you, identify what it is when you're self-destructive. And you know this. You know when you are at your worst and you're not proud of it and you actually feel worse about it than before you started. That's the one. So how can you find a name for that? Knowing that allows you to bring it to light because it wants to be acknowledged. And if you acknowledge it, that's when you actually are able to do something about it, okay? Ooh, it's getting warm here. All right, so number 2, understand it yummily. So self-destructive behaviors has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has a way that it's being triggered. So understanding like when that trigger happens allows you to catch it before it goes into a crazy loop. The thing is, like, when it starts going into this loop and this cycle, it goes all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, destroying everything in its path, emotionally, physically, like spiritually, whatever, and then it hits the bottom, and then that's when something claps, and then it starts going back up and or neutralizes again. So catching it before it goes into this crazy cycle allows the roller coaster to just stay and understand the whole cycle. When does it start? When does it hit the bottom? What is the bottom? What has to break? What has to be resolved? And then how does it get back up? So you can prevent this whole cycle from happening. It actually really mirrors the kid's way of tantrum. So you have to catch it before it hits the bottom. And a lot of times it's when certain insecurities are being triggered. So for example, you might notice that, you know, one of my clients, she's obsessed, or she has this crush, this crazy infatuation with this, doesn't even matter who, but there's this person, and she catches herself thinking about him all the time. And so it's like, what is the trigger that switches the blade and switches it and be like, all right, now I'm gonna think about this person that isn't really useful for me. And then before you know it, it's already down the rabbit hole. So what is that thing that switches it up and like lets you get ready to get into that whole system or that whole pattern, understand what that trigger is, what the bottom is. When do you finally realize and you're aware, like, oh, actually, I just drank like 10 bottles, or like, not 10 bottles, but 10 glasses, or like, I just ate like 4 meals, you know, or I just like am in the knee deep in this like behavior. Understanding that will help you as well. And then at the end, how do you get out of it? Oh, I need to talk to this person. Oh, I need to feel better. Or, oh, like, you know, I have to destroy so much that like I finally understand like I need to get out of it. Or, oh, it's happening over and over again. It's exhausting me and then I need to get out. Okay, so that's number 3. No, that's number 2. Number 3 is feel the emotions yummily. So instead of trying to mask it, trying to give into it, trying to ride it, do not give attention and energy to this thing. Even though it does deserve acknowledgement, do not give it the acknowledgement that is destructive. I'm just looking around here because there are these big holes in the ground and I don't know if they're like snakes or moles or whatever. Anyway, all right, so then feel your emotions yummily. So the way to feel your emotions yummily is through your breath. So I want you to be able to breathe that in. So getting into your seated comfortable position, fingers and hands above your knees, I just want you to breathe in and acknowledge whatever emotions there are with no judgment, no panic, nothing. Imagine like golden white light coming from above. Breathing in as much air as you can, all the way till you can't breathe any more air in. And then as you exhale, allow all the emotions to sink to the bottom of the ground. Breathing in again. And let that sink. Good. So that is how you want to be with the emotion, because the emotion is here for you to be with it. It's not here for you to like get into and be destroyed by it. It's actually here so that you can acknowledge it, and it wants you to know that it's here, and it wants you to do something about it in a healthier way, right? So that it can be both win-win for both of you. Number 4, express yourself yummily. I just cut my finger real bad with the pen that I was like pencil metal tip that I was writing this notes down with, so I'm just gonna have to constantly try and calm it down. All right, express yourself yummily and safely. So now that you have these like destructive behaviors that are happening, and now that you have these different things that your emotions that you're sitting with, and now that you have these understanding, okay, this is the middle, this is the front, and then you catch yourself and you're like, I'm in the middle of this self-destructive behavior right now. How can I express this yummily? So you can breathe through it, of course, if it's a more calm way. You can punch things if it's an angry situation. You can go into an impact class, punch things. You can go for a run, right? Like express that energy. That energy wants to come out. And instead of like going into an area which makes you feel shittier and shittier and shittier, pardon my language, find a way that you can express that energy. Swim, exercise, sing, you know, something that can explode that energy creatively and creation-wise to make it more of a way to be free, as opposed to make it have its way with you and killing you. Let it be life, you know, choose life, and how can you use this energy to create more life or express it in whatever way it is. All right, number 5, yummy honesty. So you have got to be really honest with yourself. Am I in it or not in it? So if anyone even mentions that, hey, you're acting a little different, oh, you're acting a little obsessive, or you're acting a little drunk, or like, are you okay? Like, do not defend yourself. Or even if you're defending yourself, realize that defense is actually a sign that something is not quite right, because you don't need to defend yourself if everything is good, right? And so when you are in it, be honest with yourself and make sure that you find every moment and awareness possible for you to catch yourself while you're in the middle of it. And then when you are in it, just breathe. Like when the moment you notice it, stop everything and just let that energy through. Let that energy redirect that energy. So don't let that energy take over you. You, using your breath, take control of the energy and let it go. Go into the ground. Imagine it going right down into the center of the earth. Imagine every breath you take to channel that energy down into the ground. Let the Mother Earth, let the earth support you. Get outside, be alone, and do these breathing exercises. There's so many on this channel of meditations, and let the energy go. Number 6, tune in. So once you let all that energy go and you feel like you're a bit more calm and you can actually think and process information, because it does take over our entire like cognitive abilities, then once you have all of that organized and all of that settled, then you can start thinking about what is it that I actually rather have, and how is it that I actually would rather feel about this. Do I just want to come at it from a place of love as opposed to a place of fear? Do I want to come at it from a place of understanding and compassion instead of a place of stress and anxiety? Do I want to come at it from a place of peace and just trust instead of a place of panic and attack? What is it that you actually want? What is the opposite of what you're feeling? Now that you're so clear about what you're feeling, what is the opposite? And when you know the opposite, then you can start tuning into it. So number 6 is tuning into the opposite. Number 7, you want to see it. Number 8, feel it. Number 9, breathe it. So now you close your eyes and you think about, all right, in the ideal scenario, how would I handle this in my highest power, in my highest self, in my most ideal version of myself, in the best way possible? How would I like to handle this? How would I like to be? Do this for yourself, do this for your future lover, do this for your future ideal partner, do this for your future ideal self, your family, do this for your entire community, do this for your future kids, for your current kids. Like, how would you like this to be handled with example that you are proud of, that inspires other people to know that this is possible? What would it be like? Is it calm? Whatever it is, breathe into that. For those of you who are in my classes, you know that this is the commitment. So like, get in touch with your yummy commitments and breathe that in right now. See it, feel it, and be it. Breathing into the first commitment, breathing into the version and the vision of yourself that you want to be. Breathe in. Let go of everything that doesn't serve this purpose, that resists it. Next breath, breathe into your second commitment, visualize it, and hear it again. The committed person that you are towards what you want to be. Release everything that is not serving it. Breathing in the third breath. Third breath, allowing yourself to really relax into this new way of being. Beautiful. And that's 7, 8, and 9. And then number 10, it's all about being it. So now you have it. 10 ways to stop self-sabotage, stop self-destructive behaviors, 10 ways that you need to practice. So this is not going to be a one-time thing. A lot of people ask me, oh, well, what if this doesn't work? It's not going to work the first time. It might, and a lot of times, for 5% of the people it does, but it works for 90% of the people if you do it for 14 days straight. So you've got to practice these behaviors, practice breathing, so that when the crap hits the fan, you are able to actually tune into these tools. They do work. I have people who do it prior to their beginning of their day to prime themselves to have these resources available when they are in a crappy position. So you have to practice this. But if you are in the middle of the situation, come back and listen to this and it will help you. I'll create some meditations to support you for this, and you can find them on my email list if you sign up in the email list below, yoloabundance.com/med, for some of the meditations that can support you for this. And that's a way to prime yourself for the day so that you will always remember how to do this. Remember your breaths, remember that you are yummy and you deserve to be yummy every single day. And I love you. This is Honey signing off from the You Only Live Once Life and Business Innovation Style book. And right now doing a book tour around the world, so feel free to check out the event schedule to see when you can catch me and I can catch you. All right, talk to you soon. This is a beautiful day on the Boston Harbor. Love you so much. It's like 7 a.m. and I'm like totally jet lagged, but I love you. Talk to you soon. Mwah!